absolutely. Well, let's hop right into the first thing. I like offensive tackle in the first round. I like offensive tackle at 31. I think it's going to be where BPA meets need. And I think that's where you want to make your selections. Do we need edges? Sure. But this is a deep edge class. And I feel like at 63, or maybe even trading up a little bit from 63, you'll be able to secure yourself a real good edge player. At least a guy who's going to contribute. It's I've been saying throughout this process that we're not finding centerpieces in this draft. We're finding puzzle pieces. We're finding dudes that fit what we need, not dudes that you're going to build an entire team around. And that's fine. That's cool. Um, I think you can find a lot of that in the edge class in the second round, again, from like 50 to 70 in that range. I think offensive tackle, there's just a dearth of talent between about 30 to 35 and about 90 to 95. That's about 2 rounds where you're either going to be reaching to take the next tackle or you're not going to see tackles taken. So I kind of feel like 31 might be the last opportunity to take a tackle that could really contribute if you needed him to. And for me, that guy is Blake Miller. Like, this is a guy who is just, he kind of personifies the phrase Vrabel guy. He's an Iron Man. Okay. He missed one practice in 4 years at Clemson. It was because he had surgery that morning. He was back the next day. Like, this guy is a tough, tough player who has played every down, has played at a top program. Like, did they have a great year this year? No. Was it the fault of the right tackle? For sure not. He went out there and he did his job. And I just think that sort of do your job, lunch pail, hard hat mentality. That's what I want on this line. Opposite Will Campbell, bookends for the next decade. But you prefer Max Iheanachor, and let's hear about why, I guess.
Yeah, so in this situation, so if we were to take Blake Miller, I kind of view it as we're taking like immediate starter or like Moses, your job's on the line because this guy is ready to. I think he's ready to start day one. Whereas
Mhm.
Iheanachor, or the numerous random names that I constantly hear, so we're going to go with Iheanachor for today.
I just
Since
go with Max.
Max boy, how we call him.
Yep.
He is. It's an awesome story for how it's crazy to think. I had a comment I said to somebody earlier today that there's guys that dream of being in Max's position that have spent their entire lives playing football, and this guy just did it in 3 or 4 or 5 years. Like going
Yeah.
from judo to this, like he started as a soccer player, was then a soccer basketball player. We both had like a long talk about like we can't figure out, we don't know, we were trying to find every Carfax imaginable. I don't even see this
Yeah.
guy in a soccer uniform at high school. We were trying to get to the bottom of this.
Oh yeah,
But
no, we were tracking this kid like a Dominican kid in a 12-year-old baseball league. Okay. Like, we saw a mustache and we were like, no, fuck that. We're finding the birth certificate. Okay. Like we were birthers when Obama was president. Like, whatever. We were tracking this kid down like fucking crazy people. And
right,
we never got an answer, really. October 19th is his birthday, but we don't know the year.
yeah, it was a CSI NFL draft.
Yes.
Um, but um, but nah, man, he's got for a guy that they said initially he's going to be so raw. He's got things that he's going to have to need to work on because he's going to be so inexperienced. He's pretty put together for a lot of everything he is. Like he's got great hand place. Well, let's start with more of the feet. The things that are the best about him is his athleticism. His athleticism is awesome. He's a natural athlete. He's put on the weight to do it. He's got great hip fluidity to track like speed rushers, um, or to mirror out a bunch of guys. I think the main thing with him is he's the prototypical build that we're all kind of looking for here with the 34. Same deal with Blake Miller. They both have a good prototypical build, a 6'6", 321, 34 and a half inch arms was what we have for Max. But overall, man, he's just a pure competitor. And if there's a guy that we're going to take in this situation for, you know, for your sake of Blake Miller, you're having a guy that's I'm immediately competing with you for the starting right tackle job, which may be great, which may be a great thing to have and continue to keep Morgan Moses like a flame under him, or would it also inspire Morgan Moses more knowing I've got this kid. I know my time's coming to an end soon, and I know they've invested the pick, but I'm cool with getting this guy right to be the next great guy and be a teacher, a leader, like he's constantly shown, helping with Will Campbell, and kind of carry that over for him this year. Um, I did want to quickly note like some uh, some issues for Max because obviously it's not all sunshine and rainbows here. He's still going to have a I had obviously the inexperience was one of it. Um, his hand placement, there's a lot of inconsistency, especially in the run game. He just kind of loses track, especially just when there's defenders that are kind of shaking free from him. He doesn't see too much. He obviously doesn't know what's going on directly behind him. So when there's a lot of counter moves that go forward, he just loses it a bit. But all in all, man, if he can kind of work on that as well as when he tries to get into like second levels, trying to break out the help with a power block. He just kind of there's times where he shows there's something to it. There's other times where I think he just kind of gets lost in the sauce and just doesn't have that motor, or rather, it's maybe it could be later in the game. I'm not tracking exactly the time frame of when it's happening, but there's just certain times I feel like he just kind of takes the foot off the gas when he does try to do second level run blocks. So
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly see the basketball and soccer background in his athleticism. And, sometimes I worry a little bit about the basketball players that kind of bulk up, like Markel Bell looks like he carries a lot of bad weight to me. It looks like he was just kind of like trying to add on weight to like be bigger. Whereas Max Iheanachor, if you look at him right there in that picture, like he's put together well. Okay. He doesn't have the skinny ankles, kind of the skinny legs that you see sometimes in those sorts of builds. And he definitely really is put together well. I think what you talk about in terms of timeline makes sense to me too. In the world where they're taking Blake Miller, I would see honestly, I think I'd see him starting from day one and having Moses move to a swing tackle role and like a mentorship role. And I just wonder how much he might embrace that. Like
yeah,
he took a lot of kind of vet rest sort of days, a lot of Wednesdays off. He seems to constantly be battling like little nagging injuries and so forth. And look, there's something to be said for being a starter and having the pride and all of that sort of thing. I don't know. He just seems to have really embraced like kind of the mentorship role since he's gotten here. And on the back end of your career, like it's not like you're cutting your paycheck, right?